Okay, guys. Now let me just put the audio on and let you the sound a bit. Yeah. So welcome back to the new episode. Today, so we'll be doing this episode 34. Yeah, and kind of should have streamed. Yeah, I did a stream yesterday, where we kind of like worked on the chat feature of the app, but we didn't complete it. So there's a lot of stuff left undone that we need to fix on the chat side of the app. And so I said I will continue the stream later on to add some stuff and to show you guys how to do most of the stuff. Yeah, and we'll be doing that today. And basically, what we'll be doing today, let me give you a quick overview. What we'll be doing today. Basically, we'll be doing a chat grouping. Basically, right here is where we stopped yesterday. So we're able to add a feature where we could chat with um, the psychologists we have. But right now, here, if you tap on this, so what just happened? Let's see, fix this. So I have to, basically, this usually happens on simulator. When you tap on this, the keyboard doesn't come up. So I have to fix that. Just go straight here, and check this, and then come back again and uncheck it. Now, if I go back, yeah, if I go back and tap on that, the keyboard comes up. Tap out, keyboard goes down. So basically, what we're trying to accomplish today is that we want in a situation whereby if you tap a shot, let's say something like, okay, and send that. The shot is basically sent, and you could confirm that here that the chat is sent, but this time is not correct. We haven't been able to fix this time right here. But what I want to say is that if you look right here, if you see there's an issue, this other shot from here all the way up was sent on a previous day, but here down was sent today, but we can't actually be able to um know which date his chat was sent because we don't have a way to identify that. And that's what I'm trying to fix today, whereby we can have a way, maybe it dates here. If you look at the design we have here, right here we have the design. So, let's put that a bit. So this is the design I have. So if you look over, you see that we have this date right here, which you can see, and that's dates. That's this chart right here we are sent, and basically that's what I want to do here, whereby I can add stuff right here that shows the date the chart was sent, and this one should have a today being the date. So basically that's what we're trying to accomplish today, and then also hopefully finish this up, whereby we have the chat screen over here. I can select who I'm chatting with and continue chatting with the person, and with that being said, before we head over to start coding this up and start um, doing stuff, so guys, I want to kind of like let you guys know like if you actually in love with what I'm doing here, should I say in love? But if you actually like what I'm doing here and you are happy to for me to continue going on like this, I'm kind of like building more stuff and doing more stuff. So guys, feel free to subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button, and also don't forget to hit the what's it called again? The bell button now. So yeah, the reminder button or bell button. So just hit both of them. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button, and let's get that going. Basically, if you're wondering where my YouTube is, so this is my YouTube. If you're wondering where my YouTube channel is, so this is my YouTube channel. So far, let's get the subscriber counts up. Like I said, hit the subscribe button, and we are good to go. And I'll be happy with you, and you'll be happy with me too. Um, so let's head over here. I just drop a message on different platform. So basically, opening the app up, I think we could just minimize this or leave it this way for now. But I'll just put it a bit. Can just minimize that, minimize this lens here. Okay, I think that was already minimized. Open the app right here so I can see that. I'll just head over here in our chat home screen. So here we are. And if you look here, you see so this basically a list that kind of like showing up the app, the whole displaying the whole messages that we are sending. So there's a list that is doing that. And inside this list, that's where we're going to do our grouping. And to do that, I'm going to have um, so I'm going to create some field inside get message item. So these are get message item, right now, and we have this required field called message chat. I'm going to have it come up to that. I'm going to add another field as a datetime field, and it's going to be optional. I'm going to call that last message last message time date. So this is last message date. As a comma, and I'm going to add another one which is going to be an integer. I'm going to call that should be called next next. So it's going to be optional, make that optional for the next message message yeah message time in milliseconds. That was it. So it's and right here in this field here, we are going to create a kind of a column where we are going to add. So this will be a column, and this will be a children property. And inside the children property, we are going to have um, a field that we're going to create right here. That's basically going to check if the last message that was displayed, let's say this is the last message that was displayed, and check the current message that will be displayed and check if they are the same date. If they are not the same date, then we're going to add a test right here that shows that for continuing from this message down will be a different date there, and from year to year is the same date. So that's basically what the logic is all about. And to create that logic, so we're going to create a variable here, and using the var keyword, and we are going to say message current message current message, which should be right current message date, which should be date time is equal to date time, and we're going to say date time from milliseconds is a question. So we're going to use this extension on a date time to convert a date time in milliseconds back to a new date. To do that, remember that our message or timestamp is actually a string, and you don't pass a string to this method right here from datetime class. What is expecting is actually expecting an int an integer form of date. So yeah, an integer form of milliseconds of date, and we could just do that by converting this what we have here to actually an integer. So I have to convert that string to integers using int.parse. We pass that string that we just copied right now. We pass it over to basically what we are trying to do is create a new string object, a new integer object, something like that, by passing the string to int, and it converts the string to int. But that way, this basically throw an error. So if you're using that, be careful. So the reason why I'm not kind of wrapping this in an error statement is because I already know that this here will not contain a letter. It's just a number inside a string. That's basically what our message or timestamp is actually doing here, because we created we the one that created the structure of the message timestamp, and we know that that's actually a number inside a string quotes, and it will not contain any letters or something like that. But in a situation whereby this contains a letter, and you're trying to pass that letter to an integer, this will actually throw an error because you cannot convert a real letter string to an integer. So we should be careful with how we use that. So it's a message dot timestamp. That's better. Correct, I got it out wrong. Oh, we getting it wrong. So this should be one single S, not double S. Just change that back. That should be single S and call a message dot timestamp. Now this will not throw an error, and everything is correct. So we are only getting this error here. And let me just say a message. I got some message on the chat. Let's just specify them. So basically, let's get back here. Right now, let's do the time comparison, and we could actually do that by creating another variable, and we call this. This will be called a same date. So a same date. And that will be basically equals to what we're going to say something like last message date not equals to null. So we're going to check that this is not null because maybe it's optional. So this is an optional field parameter or something like that passed to our function or method. Right here is good, yeah. So we are going to make sure that this is not null. Since that is not null, we're going to use an sign to combine another statement. We are going to say use our date method, another new date method called. We are going to call that on this parameter last date dot is same. So okay, that we don't have that right now. So let's go ahead and create that an extension. So we can go back here. So basically, is a function that helps us to compare dates for us. So this is our extension util folder. So basically, here we added the extension on a string that we're going to be using. But right now, let's add an extension on our date time. We could do that by so I'm going to do that by saying extension, and we are adding the extension on our dates. So I'm going to call that dates only compare. And the extension is on date time, which is basically okay. We already got that, so I think it looks through my previous code. So we are adding this extension called date only compare on a date object, on flutter date class. So this is from flutter, and this is our own extension on it. And we are creating this method called boolean is same date. What basically does it accepts a date as its parameter, and it's going to check through the date, check if the date is the same as the other date, and also do the same for the month, and also for the year, and those stuff on and on. And if it's true, it's going to return a boolean statement of true, and if it's false, it's going to return false. That's all we need to do here. And let me see. Okay, let's save this and then go back over here. So right now we can use that here. Now if you go back to this date parameter here and then say dot is, and you suggest same date. So basically it's not going to suggest that to us because it doesn't know what this is. We have to import this for it to suggest it to us. Come on. You see, for my extension folder, for my extension file, import, and now it knows that we are trying to use this method called a same date, which we created right here. We are going to pass it our current date, which is this. So current date. Close that off. So basically, what this function is saying is trying to look to see if this last date is the same date as the current message, which is basically what we have here. So this message, for starting from here all the way to this end here, is a message we sent this message the previous day, which is the last time we did this stream, which should be yesterday or thereabout. And today I added this message here. Let me add another one. Um, and we can confirm that we added that right here. So from here down is a message we added today. So basically, what this stuff we'll be doing, it will be checking through this message when it's adding it to the list and see if, like, so this is the first message, this is the second one. To add this message to the list, it will check if this one is the same date as this. If they are both the same date, so you add it, say add it. But if they are not the same date, we separate them, add a separator here by saying the separator will be the date that this was added, and the separator for this one will be the date that this was added. So that's what we are trying to achieve, and we could just go ahead and add stuff here. So inside our column children, we go ahead and add, let's see, keep something side by side. Okay, so basically we are going to use an if statement in here, and the if statement which we're going to say if, and if they are not the same date, if these are not the same date, the message that we are trying to add, if it's not the same date, go ahead and add it as a separator, and that will be a container. Hold on. And the container is going to have a shard property, which is going to be a text field. So it's going to be a text field. For now, let's leave it as a text. And we're going to, what it's going to have is going to be a date property, and we are going to get that from our time formatter. And basically, I'm going to create this later on. I'm going to go ahead and create that. So it's called time formatter, but we don't have this right here. So let's go and create this notation. So let's go ahead and create over here in our utils folder. Right here is our util folder. I'm going to create a new class, a new file. We're going to call that time underscore formatter or dot, and in here is going to be a class that has the same name as time formatter. So time formatter, okay, we did a mistake. Okay, and in here we're going to go ahead and create so the method we are trying to use to format our time that we're trying to create is what we call format from short day. So we could add that. So we're going to add a method inside the class. I'm going to call the going to be a static, so I can actually access it from another file or that is not within this class. So I'm going to call that string, and we should call that format format short date, and it's going to accept a date time. Right, is going to format that and return that to us as a string. The final that's going to be equal to date format. So this will be the format of the date we have. So that should be month and then day, then the month and then the date of the day of the date. So the month will be complete, like April, July, something like that, and the day will be 2 digits. So that's what I have here. And once it gets that, let's go ahead and import this. So, and now we're going to return that format by formatting this date time passed here, I'm going to say format, dot format, date time that we have here. Save them. And once we format the date time, it's going to return that to us. Right now, we could go back right here and use the formatter, time formatter. Go ahead and import this. Copy that. Helps us. Go ahead and delete this. We have here. Import that. I'm going to call the method format from short day. We're going to pass we are going to pass in here will be basically next message time. So let's go to that should be message that's coming for a message dot time stamp okay, I think we made a mistake here. Yeah, current message, because our dates message here is actually the timestamp is actually in string and we converted it right here. So that's what we have to pass in here to display the current date of the message bubble. Before we save this, so under this we are going to add our chat bubble, and we forgot that because we kind of like deleted it. What the chat bubble looks like. Let's add that. I think we still remember. Yeah, so this is our chat bubble and this is what it looks like. And let's see. So our chat bubble, import that. And why is it not important? Yeah, it's simply important. So the message we're passing, this message we have here, and we are getting the text from the content, message content, and it's me. And it's me is basically using this function we have here called check is me. Check is me, and we're passing the message from ID to it, which let's see, why is it showing an error? Okay, we don't have this. Okay. Already okay, from ID and message from ID is telling me that this isn't defined for the message. Okay, not from ID, it's message ID from, ID from. So this is the one. And go ahead and save this. And over here, right now, so this is going to throw some error that we need to go ahead and fix the error we are seeing here so that we could be able to show the message in a grouped form. And right here or up above here, we are going to do some logic stuff there. So we start first of all by creating a variable. That variable we are going to call that message. And basically the current message that's this loop is this list view is trying to display. I'm going to get that from our chat controller, conversation list, that particular index, close that off, and the next we are going to use an if statement right here. So basically what we are going to do with this if statement is that we're going to check the current index minus 1 is greater than 0, then we kind of like pass that as the last message, create a variable called last message 2. Create those variables right here, and we're going to call this date time. It's a tag date time, which will be started being optional. I'm going to call last message date off. And the next one we're going to create an int for the so int called that next message, because that all body is going to be an optional too. And with those we created, so right here we're going to say in index minus 1 So the current index minus 1, and if it's greater or equal to 0, we're going to call that to be last date. So we're going to assign that to our last date that we created up is equal to date time. We're going to use date time dot from so we have two methods here. Okay, no, milliseconds, the milliseconds one for milliseconds, and in here we're going to pass in the current message with the timestamp. That should be basically underscore control, no, not control state, so that should be underscore chat controller dot conversation with index, which is the current index, right? Now we are currently looping through. We're going to minus 1 from it, minus 1, then dot timestamp, close that off, close that off. See, and so we have chat stream, the current message, the timestamp of that message, but we are getting this error because remember our timestamp is a string and this is responsive for a number, so we have to pass this to be a number, basically an integer. So we're going to pass that as an integer by saying int dot pass, and there we go. So we pass it as an integer. So next under here will be to add another one that currently kind of like tell us the next message. We're going to use here. I think it's suggesting the code I used before, but let's go and type it out. If index minus 1 is less than chat string, chat controller the conversation dot length, the length of it. Okay, we are using the proof code, but let me explain that. So basically, the next we are using another if statement to check if the current index minus 1 is less than the chat controller index dot length. I will remove this. So we're going to assign it. That means that's the second message that is going to be displayed. And we're going to call that, assign that to a variable called next message int, next message timestamp. And what we are going to do is going to pass int dot pass chat controller and the current index plus 1 dot timestamp. That's all we need to do. Else, if that is false, then we're going to say our next message is going to be equals to no. And the reason we can assign that to no, even though we made it type to be int, is because we made this to be optional. So if you made something to be optional, then you can assign a no to it or something like that. But you always have to be careful when you are trying to use it to make sure you are not calling a null value, or you are not trying to use a null value. Okay, then that being said, so next we could do is to pass those stuff to this message item. I'm going to say comma. Next one is going to be last message, pass in last message. Next one is next message, pass that in. So let's just say that error. Okay, so this should be the message. So that's the one causing the issue. And I think we are good to go. Let me see if there's something I'm missing. Okay, we have to remove this, remove that, and call the using message we have here, whatever that we created here. I think that's on. Go ahead and save this. So let's try and see if what we have been working on so far is actually going to reflect here. And we could do that by going to call save, and there we go. So if you look over here, you're going to see the date being applied, and boom. So we're actually getting this to work. So basically, we are having an issue. Instead of saying indexing value not inconclusive range, Let me see. Let's start it up and see why we're having that issue right now. So let's go back to our message section, open this. So, okay, mistake giving the issue, and we'll see how we fix that. Okay, let's do some debugging right now. So this is not the effect that we are trying to achieve. So we shouldn't be getting this error, invalid index. So let's see how to achieve that. So we should say index -1 if it's greater than 0. So that means that's the last message, and index -1. So we are not trying to get the last message, but what we are doing here is that we are saying we want to get the last message. So this is one throwing the error. But what we should do is index +1 to get a correct message. And we're going to say that's the next message time. Go ahead and save that, and then we go, boom, the error goes away because the mistake we made there right here, we are trying to get the last message by using index -1, and we are trying to check if it's greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, that means we have something in our list. Go ahead and apply that here, right? And next we are trying to get the next message after the last message. But how we do that is say index +1 to get the next item inside the list, or the next item after the current index. But the issue right now, before we are saying -1, basically we are still trying to get the last message like this. That is causing that error and showing index issue to us. So this is how to do that. And if you go ahead and save this, and you see that the error has been fixed. Right now we have our message being grouped, as you can see. So you have the message that was sent from 17th July, which was yesterday, the last time we did our stream. And again, we have a message that was sent from today, which is July 18, which if you're looking in your watch, or if you're in my location, current location, is actually July 18, and showing that this is the message we have been sending from today. So this is basically what we are trying to achieve, whereby our chart is being grouped by the dates we are sent. And if you go ahead and type another message here, let's just type some random thing. Go ahead and send that. And if you close it, you're going to see that. See? So come over. That means we are sending all this message on July 18, and all this message have been sent on July 18. So which makes sense, and that's basically what we are trying to achieve, and nothing more. If you look at the design we have here, so let's compare that with the design we have. So here's our design that we have right here. So here's the design we have right here. So inside the design, we could see that we have these dates at the top. Basically, if you compare that, that should be like this, yeah. But that's not that kind of like the only issue we are having right now is that the design is kind of off point, because this is showing black color and the design is kind of like a bit of gray color, yeah, a bit gray in color. So you have to change this to be gray in color, and how to do that, just highlight this and just quickly go ahead over here. We're going to apply this stuff right here inside our VS Code. We could do that in our VS Code by basically saying where we change that is basically right here, where we are adding the messages now, right here, where we are adding the messages that we are working on. There we go. So yeah, we are saying we are creating a container that has a test, right? Which is this test right here. But the test, we have to style it. So how to style it, remember how to style a test, you onward. So add a style property and use a text style. So we use a text style like this, and we format this so it could be easily readable. So there we go. And inside our text style, we have a font weight and a font size. So let's target the font weight first. So here's our font weight, and our font weight is basically 400, as you can see here. So you have something just entered my mouth. Yeah. So you have a font weight of 400. So right here, we could just use the font weight as font weight dot weight of 400. That's what we're trying to use. And again, the next one will be font size, and the font size is 13, not 12. So we're going to make that to be 13 for the font size. And we could go ahead and remaining the color. So we're going to change the color, and we're going to use the color from our gray color. So we have a color for our app colors. So we're going to use that. So the app colors dot this. So this is the color we are going to use. Go ahead and save that. And that's all we need to do here. So we go ahead and save that stuff. Go back to our app that we are building right here. I could see. So now the color is looking exactly like what we need here, what we have here. So both colors are the same, July 17, July, you see the color. But I think there's one stuff we need to add. So this same mark, okay, I've set an alarm, remove that. I'm sorry, that was my alarm. So we have March 7th, 14th, but we have to add this last test, which is TH, at the back of the time. To add that, go back to VS Code and remember that where we could do that. So we have to do that right here, exactly right here. And to do that, we have to copy this over and use that inside the a test like this, and we are going to do what we call test interpolation, or in some programming language we call it same test interpolation or test concatenation. That's what we are going to do right here. So we're going to use, so this is how you interpolate a test. You do test interpolation in flutter or that. So basically using a dollar sign and then these two curly bracket inside there, you paste what you want to do. And the next we are going to add is this th, the test th at the back. So that should be th, that's all. Go ahead and save that. And now if you look at the design we have, compared it side by side, you see we have July 17th, July 18th, and also March 14th. So that's good, and that's what we are looking for. And so yeah, so our messages are being grouped. So these messages are sent from July 17th all the way to down here, and from July 18th, these messages have been sent. So we got this working. Let's say there's something small stuff we need to fix. And if you look right here, you see that there's a space between this message and this, and also this. So let's add a space right here, and we could easily add a space by using member spacing, which will be, so we could actually convert this. Let me see, convert this. Okay, yeah, we could just use margin. So we use margin, edge insect, the edge insect dot only, and we could just say top. So this code is which suggested, so it's a top pen. But we could check that to use the main one. So we could just say from year to year is 15, and from year to year is 13, but we could just make both of them 15. So just inside here, we just say top should be 15, bottom should be 15.0, both of them. Save that. You can see the spacing has been added. Now we have this spacing and this spacing, and back here we have this spacing and this spacing. And I think that's it for us. There's nothing much we need to do. So let's go back. Let me see if there's something else we need to add. So I think we can do some fixes over here. Let me look at the design. So I'm basically mostly using this design as also the business logic and how the app should function and look like. And so if you open this, so the message is starting from here. But if you open this to type, this covers everything, I think. So we couldn't scroll up because this covers the whole stuff. What if we could make it that when we open the keyboard, right? If we open the keyboard and maybe we increase the height of this or reduce the height so that this message should start from here and not basically not be hidden under the keyboard. Let's try and see if we could do that. Um, let's see what we need to do. And if you look here, this is where our keyboard started. So this is the custom circle button, and we are actually saying, okay, yeah, here should be it. So yeah, here's where we are increasing the height and where we are reducing the height of our list view, which is here. But we can increase this number more, since since we added this keyboard interaction, which is covering everything. And we could actually do something like, let me see if there's a way we could get the current keyboard height. Keyboard height. So let's look at that. So possibly there's a way to do that. So let's see. Okay. Okay, I think something we got a glimpse here. So we could just, in case of complicated widget 3, keyboard is open, so we have to rotate values down the tree. Okay, I think we have a that package that we could use. So basically we could use this package to get our keyboard height, right? And yeah, that's all we want to do right now. So to get the keyboard height and reduce this based on the keyboard height. We should basically, if we are to run a test right now, if you are to do this manually, we could do something like saying, in here, let me go, in here, we could have a variable, that we could have a variable right here that we say if the test, if you have started typing, which we are doing here, if chat the show button is true, so you could use that, and we could say if this is true, that means the user have started typing in the let me get that. So it should be wrapped. Let's go ahead and wrap this. I'm going to say if our chat button is true, that means the user have clicked on it and the user is typing. If he or she is typing, we want to make this to be visible to the user. So you could just say if that is true, go ahead and use this number. Let's say 282 or 83. Else use this one. Let's save down, see how that looks. Hopefully that works. Um, Save that. Go back. Try this again. So if we go ahead, right now we could see the height, right? The height of our test, of our chart. And right now let's go over here and type something. So this should actually be able to increase, but that's not working. That means what we have here is basically not working at all. And let's go ahead and cover this. So we could just remove our observable from here, close this off from being an observable, and move this observable that we have here, move this whole thing, yeah, we'll move this whole thing out and cover this with that observable that we just moved, and that will become return and observable. Hopefully we don't get an error doing this. What did I do? There we go. Yeah. So just no. What happened? Something just happened right now. Okay, this should be this, and then we have another bracket. Yeah, that way. I think that the issue is fixed. Yeah, go ahead and save that. There we go. See. And try this one more time. It should work. So right now you could see this. Open this, type something, scroll up, and it's still not showing us anything. So height of t minus, let's try 183. So if it's true, do this. If not, do that. Okay. Okay, that's working. So you could actually scroll to the end. Okay, that's basically working. So that's what we are doing manually right now. We are manually doing that, and let's try 546 to see how that works. Okay, that's too much. So that reduces. And go back and type again. Type something in here, and scroll down. Yeah, so you could actually scroll all the way to where we are right now. And let me see. Okay. Let's try now. Okay, that makes sense. So we got that working. What if? So I think we can actually try using this package and see how that works. So we're able to move that up, or we could just leave our current app situation for now and move over to the other stuff and work on that next. But let's try using this and see if that works. If not, then we could just leave it for now. Let's go back to the terminal section. Right in the terminal section, we could just easily install this, add the package by using this command, and there we go. think the package is just has been added. Let's go back and use that. And this is how to use that. Let me see. Um, okay. Basically, it's not making any sense. You see the example section. So you have this small size, keyboard size provider, okay, child, scaffold, body, yes, and body of the main screen. Okay, guys, I think we should leave this later on. I will shake on that, and then we could just be able to fix this issue. And so we need to kind of finish. So this doesn't make sense. So the user doesn't clear this up, and we have a bad UI right here. So we're going to look into that later on, but for now, let's leave it the way we are actually using it right now. So we're going to go ahead and remove the changes we made here. Okay, we're back to our previous state. So there we go. And we have this. So right now we are done with this. We basically the chat section. There's a couple of other stuff we are going to add. Remember, this is a full app. That's still going into production very soon. So we are going to work on this, and work on this from the when we are done with this section. So I want us to work on this for now, so it will be easy to get to the chat screen from here than going through the other procedure that we are using currently. So let's go ahead and do this. And go ahead and remove this. Go back. So here we are back. Clicking on the chat. No, back. Clicking on the chat screen. So we are going to have this error, but let's fix that error. For our chat screen, to fix that error, it's saying that it doesn't know which controller is called chat controller, not found, because we're not using that chat controller anymore in this screen. So we want to move it out and use another different controller for this screen right here. Enough talking. Let's do that. So right here, here's a chat presentation. So here's the chat controller that was complaining about. We're going to create another controller. I'm going to call this controller to be chat home underscore home underscore controller dot that. So let's just create a boilerplate of how our controller would look like. It's going to be called chat home controller, and so go ahead and extend get X controller. So I'm going to extend that. Go ahead and remove this too, and go ahead and import this to fix that issue. That should be this import. So import this package, save this for now, and we are going to go ahead and add this to a binding. So we're going to create our own binding, another new binding. Where is it? So inside here, in our binding folder, we're going to create not folder. We're not creating a new folder. We're going to create a new file. We call that chat binding dot, and in there we're going to create a binding class. I will create our binding group, and that should be called chat home binding. Yeah, that's what we call the name. And for now, So we created a binding part that we're going to be using for only chat home, for the chat, only for the chat screen, not for the chat page or the chat home. So that's going to extend bindings, not binding base. So remove this boilerplate code here. Go ahead and import this to fix that issue. Always import the get s package. And right here is going to throw an error that we need to implement and override the method right here. The method is basically this chat dependencies that we want to add in this binding. And our first dependency for the chat string will be get the put chat home controller. That's the dependency we're going to be using. Okay, there we go. That's all we need. I'm going to use this binding in our route page. Remember our routes where we describe how the pages we are going to be routing whenever we click on a navigation button or something like that. And here we go. So this is a page. We'll be looking at the chat section, which is this. And this is the chat screen, and we're going to add this bindings in there. We're going to add this. Going to import that, and there we go. Go ahead and save this. Let's see if we're going to. Let's just start our app to make sure we're not going to get the same. Okay, we are still going to get an issue because right there in our chat, where is it? Right there. Let me close this out so you know what we're doing. Close all this. Open this. So in our chat homepage, which is the chat screen itself, when you click on this button here, we are currently making use. Let me be sure. So there we go. Let me see. Let's go ahead and try this. As I thought we are kind of like calling the chat home controller right here, and maybe that will try an error again. Yeah, I'm sure. So this is our chat homepage screen, right? And let's go ahead and fix this error. So I'm trying to see where we are actually using that chat stuff or that chat home controller on this one. Shouldn't be this hard to find. It should be easy for us to find. Let me see. But yeah, come on. So have okay guys, looks like we're having a tough time trying to figure out what we did wrong here. Shut controller, yeah. Shut home controller, yeah. And inside our home controller, get close to our home controller, which is this. We didn't make use of the shut controller itself, right here, which I'm sure of. We didn't do that, but let's see where this error is coming from. Go back So our chat room binding, no, um, okay, let's see. Oh, okay, short screen. Okay, we are making a mistake. So we are looking at the main room binding, the main room screen, or main page screen, something like. Okay, yeah, we found it. So we shouldn't be using this inside a short screen, right? Because that's not the controller we are making use of. That controller has not been added in the app in its state. So we're going to go ahead and dispose this off, remove it basically. That's what I mean by disposing it off. And we are going to have this one error that we need to fix so that we will not get another new error. And basically, how do we fix this? We fix this by heading to, let me see, so, okay, yeah, chat controller, copy this over, that should be search controller, copy that over, inside our home controller, chat home controller, paste that, go ahead and import that, material, that should fix the issue. And next we could do is to make use of this in our chat home screen. That should be chat screen, but we have to put it side to side so it'll be easy for us to be navigating. So chat screen, because of this error, we're going to add our own controller for it, which is this. Get the find. Finally, we should put final keyword at the back. Go ahead and import that. And there we go. Go ahead and use this. And replace what we have here with it. And there we solve the issue. Save that. And there we go. So the issue has been fixed. And we are able to get this to reach visible again. Let's restart the app and make sure that we didn't arrive there by magic or we did something to just fix it for the time being. But let's make sure that it's actually fixed. So click on this again. And there we go. We don't have the error again. But right now, this is not what we want. We don't want this to be here. We want this to be dynamically show who we are actually chatting with. Because if we head over to our database, which should be mental health chat database, at the file store database, we have these stuff on the users that we're chatting with. So the current user, which is me, that's in the app, this is the people I'm chatting with, these two people. And again, if you go to the psychologist I'm chatting with, every psychologist has who they are chatting with. This psychologist is chatting with one person, which is only me. The second person should have someone because I added. So it's chatting with only me because we already chatted with two psychologists for now. So that's why we left this stuff right there. And with that being said, so let's go ahead and fix this up. And right here in our chat controller, home controller, underscore, under it, let's go ahead and do this. So we should import, but before we import, let's go down and create a function that's a type void. I'll call that to get or that get conversations. Conversation. So get conversations. Yeah. And so inside the method body, right here, that's what we are going to say, or type out what we need, or describe what we need to happen. So what we want to do is to get a conversation from each we want to get a conversation of each user that we have been chatting to. We have been chatting with, that basically the messages that we have been having with each user, and also the particular user we have been having a conversation with. That's what we're trying to do. And let's go ahead and do that. So right there, I'm going to create a final variable. And I'm going to call that conversation. we're going to say that is equal to both controller, which are going to, we need to add this and remove that. Actually, final. Import our auth controller. Yeah. So like this, we're importing our controller. We need to add a type, so because we already know the way we are trying to import, it's going to find it for us. We're going to say auth controller dot. So we're going to tap into the file store user dot. So the value, and we're going to use this. So basically, we are focusing on wrapping this optional value. Yeah, so we are going through the current user that is logged in, which is me, and we are going through the user's conversation list that was kind of added to the app from Firebase. So you're going to see the list of people that are chatting with from this conversations list. And under it, what we are going to do right now, we are going to look through it. So we're going to make a group under that conversation. I'm going to say for each conversation, which is a string, we are going to print not a name, we are going to print the ID of the people I'm chatting with. All these are only a string. The conversation list is a string, not a dynamic. But we just made it dynamic for now, but that's basically a string. And yeah, that's it. So we're going to print the string of the IDs of the users. And next we're going to tap into, okay, I have a second my RAM. Sorry guys, my RAM just went off. Okay, just go back for it. Okay, so right now what we could do is tap into home controller, and we're going to import our home controller right here. So I have a final variable, that should be home controller. Home controller will find. I'm going to say in here home controller dot psychologist dot. For each psychologist, we look through them, and then we could just say a psychologist model or just psychologist. Change this to smaller tab P, and right in here we are going to say print the printing name. Let's use print statement here. This is psychologist, not the UID, but actually the name of the psychologist on each loop. And right now we're going to compare. So we're going to say if conversation, the conversation, which is I told you is a string of ID, which is this, a string of IDs. So we are going to say if the conversation, right? People this. So it's just a string. So we're going to say if conversation is equal to psychologist dot UID, so the psychologist ID, then we know that that's the current psychologist. That's one of the that we already found the psychologist. Right now, what we need to do is to get the last message of this particular psychologist, right? So that we can be able to display that here. So you see how this look. We want to display this particular message right here. And how to do that? We could just comment this out. That's not what we're trying to do. Over here, down below here, I'm going to create another function that's going to help us to get the messages of each psychologist. So we're going to call that's going to be a feature of type void, or no, not a void, but a feature of type message chat. Call that get last message, and we already have a required parameter. We're going to say required, going to be a string group chat ID. Remember what this group chat ID is doing. So basically we are actually concatenating the current user, the two people that are chatting their IDs. We are concatenating them together as our chat collection ID, so I could be able to find them in the database, knowing that these two people are actually the ones chatting together. So that's what we're trying to do. So right in here, so we call that get last message. We're going to return. So we're going to return Firebase collection. Okay, you already suggested the color we want. basically that's what I'm looking at. Um, so there we go. So Firebase Firestore DB. So we need to add a Firestore DB. Let's go ahead and import that to fix that error. I'm going to say final Firestore DB. Import that, and the error goes away. And we're going to import this. Because we are going to get the correction, message correction. That's what we are then going to look at in our Firestore, and then document with this group chat ID that we're going to pass in later, and again the correction under that document with the same ID, and we're going to order that by timestamp of the message descending order. We're going to say descending order to be true, so that we could get the last message in the collection. So if you send this descending order to be true, right here, if Firebase is returning all these messages, if it's returning all these messages, it's going to flip it. It's going to flip it and start from there to return. So this is the last message right here. So that basically this is what we are looking for. If you don't flip it, that means we will know the last one that's been returned, the last message, but we don't know from here is the last. So that's why we're telling the Firebase to return from here. So basically order it while returning the whole stuff, and set that to be descending to be true. Limit to only one, which is the particular last message, and we're going to call the get on it. Then done. When everything is done, we use this resolve our synchronous function. But then inside here we're going to say get hold of the snapshot, and so I'm going to return it now. Because now we know we're not going to return it now. Put this. We want to return message.shout.from map, snapshot the document of first the data, yeah. Let's see what else we need to do. A snapshot document of first the ID, okay, that's good. So I think that's it. Go ahead and save this. Go ahead and use this. Let's save it. Use it in here. Because this is where we are going to use it, and we're going to say last message var last message going to be this, and we're going to make this to be async. I'm going to make this an async function. I'm going to add on our weights here, because this might take time to return. And the group chat ID. So how do we get this group chat ID? So the group chat ID is basically we're going to concatenate it like this. How it looks. So it's going to be something like this. We have both. So so the current user, which we could get from our Firebase auth, yeah, like that. So yeah, so we're going to use that auth from Firebase authentication like this. Let's go auth. We'll get that wrong. So auth dot current user. Yeah, so first unwrap. So basically this is what we are looking for. So auth dot current user first unwrap the ID, which is I'm the current user right now using the app, and again get the psychologist. Understand psychologist.id, which is this particular psychology that matches to one of the psychologists in this conversation list here, and we're going to get the ID of that psychologist. And once we get that ID, what we are going to do is basically going to call conversation users, which we're going to need to create here. I'm going to create a variable that holds the conversations on our conversation users on our chat screen. I'll just get my tongue twisted. So we'll say rx list of type chat group. So I'm going to create an object. We are going to call that chat group model. That's what we need. So something called this tag chat group model, and we need to create that bit because right now we don't have this in our app. So let's go ahead and create that. So create that somewhere in our layer inside this model folder. I'm going to call that chat underscore group underscore model dot, and this is how the model will look like. So class is going to be called, this is the name, and it's going to have two parameters or two field, basically two field. For the class we call it two field, for the functions and method we call it parameters or parameter signature, something like that. And then we have final variables, final field, I messed up again. So it's going to be called psychologist model, and the user, and another final variable. We're going to call that message. So that should be message chat. So message chat. Call that last message or last chat. Last chat. And there we go. And then initialize this in a constructor. So there is a constructor. I'm going to add required at the back. Required, and then required. That's it. And finally, we are going to create a factory method that we're going to use to format this or to map it out. We're going to say factory chat group model format. So two parameters is going to get is basically we have this. So I will require psychologist model to be called user, and again required not this. So required message chat, which is going to call that last chat. There we go. We're basically going to add that right here. So we're going to say user, and replace this second one, call that last chat. There we go. Go ahead and save that. Make use of this model we created here. In here, so we're going to say it should be equal to conversation. So conversation users. Yeah, there we go. So this is how it looks. So go ahead and import this. Remember we created that. Go ahead and import this model. And right now, right here, if you get the last message, to get the last message that we are going to be using here for each users we are chatting with, we're going to say so yeah, this returns the last message. Looks like we're having an issue right now. It's simple. Okay, yeah. So the await function is not in the scope. So basically we should wrap this function with async. So this will be in the same scope, yeah. And then over here we are going to say conversation list or conversation what am I typing? Conversation users dot add. We're going to add chat group model like this, and the user is basically going to be a psychologist. The psychologist, and then the last message is going to be the last message that we just got from Firebase for that user. Close that off. Then there we go. And go ahead and save this. So if you run our app right now, restart our app, this list here will be filled with the users that we're chatting with, so that we could be able to use it here. Go ahead and save this or restart our okay. I think we got one thing to fix. So we need to add already right here. Inside the already, we're going to call that get conversations method on below here. So say get conversations. Close that off. Save that. Once we save that, we are going to use this on our front end. Right? So use this on our front end. And how do we use that on our front end? Remember, our front end is here, chat screen. And currently right now, the chat screen is using something from home controller to display the users. Well, there. Where is it? Where is our chat screen? I think I'm missing something. Yeah, this should be the chat screen. And okay, yeah, this view. So right now we're just hard coding this value. We are saying this should be 10, but that's not how it should look right now anymore. And why? Because we're trying to fix that. So we're going to wrap this list view with an observable. So we're going to wrap everything. List view user. Let's see. Yeah, wrap this view user. We're going to say this should be objects. So this will be currently this will dynamically be updated whenever we start chatting with a new person. Say objects. Right there, the builder function, which is going to return our list view that we just copied. Yeah. Cool. Since we do that, so let's do one more thing remaining before we see our front end. We're going to remove this hard-coded 10 digit. It basically come from if we come from our chat home controller. Copy that. You don't need to copy that. So just say underscore. It will show us that dot conversation users dot length, and this will tell us the number of users we are chatting with. And next stuff we could do, just close this. Go ahead and use network image here, but the network where image we are going to use is, remember the package that we added, which is cached network. So that's what we're going to be using here. I'm going to copy that over because we did that previously somewhere. So copy that over, go ahead and replace every single thing here. Go ahead and import that. So imported that. Let's see, chat home controller there, dot conversations, user image, there we go. Let me say to change the name of the user to match what we want. Chat so chat home controller but username, not username, but that should basically say name. And let me see what else we need to change. I think the image, the name, and this text here. That text we could just remove it. We don't want to add code it anymore since we are getting that from our back end. Remove that, and we could just say, okay, that's correct. But this should be message.content. That's message.content. Yeah, that's it. Go ahead and save that. I think that was what we need. And there we go. So right now, this is kind of like cleared off because we need to restart our app. So let's go back to here. And there we go, voila. So this is actually who we are chatting with. So basically we are currently chatting with two psychologists. Remember I told you that. So you could actually verify that we are returning the right data. And yeah, we could verify that. See the first psychologist, the last message there says come over. Okay, yeah, this is the one, this psychologist, because it's kind of like arranging this on the, yeah. So yeah, there's a psychologist with that. Come over and if you go back again, so the second chart we are having here is basically having this hello, which is that's the only thing we said here, hello, to this psychologist. That's working. But before we call it a day and close off, um, right now if you click on this, nothing is happening. We are not being taken to the site to the message room to see what the chat looks like. We could fix this up by coming over here in our chat home controller. Going to under here create a new function. The new function we're going to create, we're going to call that open. So you're going to be void, say open group chat. So the function will open a group chat. Whenever I click on this group chat, it's going to open it. I'm going to say open group chat. And it's going to require a psychologist, not a peer ID, psychologist that we want to open it with. Also the psychologist model, I'm going to say call a user. And what we could do right now is to call on our home controller dot open chat with ID dot value. We assign it to the psychology that we imported here to be the ID. Okay, another. Sorry guys, my alarm. I'm just timing for something. Okay, that's it. Then we call get dot name. I'm going to copy something over so I'll be able to finish this on time. Copy down. So there we go. So chat room argument the user, save that, and let's go to our chat screen and see how, let's make use of that here. So here's our chat screen. I want to call that right here whenever we click on something. So this is the method, the function that dictates click on any of this stuff here. So I'm going to say chat controller dot open chat, open group chat. We are passing chat home controller the conversation list at index dot user. Understand, the correct user at the index of our conversations users. That particular user is the psychology that we clicked on. So we are passing it to this open group chat. So we're going to add a comma here so I can be able to format this code. So we want it to look like this. Go ahead and save this. Or how to restart our app, how to refresh our app or something like that. Right now, let's see this in action. Go ahead and click on any of this user. So what happened? So our home chat. To name the chat room argument is user. Okay. Open the debug console to see if we have any error or something like that. Right now, go ahead and click on any of these. Go back to the chat and click on this. And you see, so that's working. So I'm going to cry for ourselves. So right now we're able to get to navigate to the chat room of the psychologist that we're chatting with, and you see we already added one chat here on July 17th. Let's say something again. Let's say something like you are not responding. And you see the message will be added here. So to this particular psychologist that we're chatting with is already added, which is today, July 18th. So that's why you added this date. And if you go back, select this, and see this user, this psychologist that we have been chatting a lot with previously. So we have been chatting a lot with this psychologist, and yeah, so we could verify that this is working. Click on any of this. Let's go back. Click. There we go. Click on any of this. There we go. Right now, you can still go back to the specialist. We still need to fix this up. Um, and now if you click on any psychology that we're not starting with, you see the chat section will be empty. But let's fix that. We're supposed to show us a message not being empty. Let's go. I think chat home screen. Yeah. So right here we need to show this if the field is empty. So there we go. So if we haven't chat with this person, so it should show this message. But if you go back, let's see who we chatted with. So click on this guy. I think we have a chat, but it's still showing this. Um, so use an and statement, just say save that. So that we hide that for us. Let's go back. Come down. Okay, that's still showing us an error. I think it still has something to do with the index stuff. So index is equals to conversation list dot length. And again, we're trying to say if the chat controller, the conversation list dot length is and it should be less than or equals to one. Just say equals to. Okay. However, we should to fix here. Now, okay, let's show that this one will okay, so this will replace because we already have two charts here. We should make the index to be actually the chart list to be two lengths, and that's having this issue here. So for now, we can just uncomment this out or leave it this way so we know that we have an error I will not fix here. And yeah, guys, we'll be stopping here for right now because I have something I need to go and do because my alarm was kind of ringing. Let's continue this. I hope I will want to continue a new stream in the next 3 hours or thereby. And let's control with what you're building. And probably it will be on iOS section that I'll be doing in the next few hours. And maybe after that we could still go back to our flutter project and work and try to fix this error that we have here. So that's why I'm leaving this empty for now. I'm not commenting the code out, so we know that we have this error and we are still at this point. So with that being said, okay guys, take care. Drop a like on the stream and let me know what you think in the comment section. And also don't remember to share the stream to your friends and ask them to subscribe to what we are doing here. Thanks you and have a nice day everyone. Nice to see you guys.